Hello everybody and welcome to Grassroots Vegan. So the topic today is to do with money, and this video is dedicated to Freelee the banana girl. That's right. I watched a video of hers this morning. I'm only on YouTube for the money, so F you or F it or whatever. Anyways, and clearly, Freelee is definitely experiencing a great measure of success on YouTube and with her ebook, and she's making money for it, and good for her. I mean, like, she put the hard work in and it's paying off. And so I put a comment in saying, if you haven't already done it, you should consult with a registered IA, that's an investment advisor, or wealth manager. Basically the same thing, except I think, well, there's different designations, and certain investment advisors have more qualifications than others, which enable them to do more complex, how would you describe it? They're able to deal with more complex accounts. So why, and then she said, thanks for the tip. She responded saying, thanks for the tip. What benefits do you see in doing that? So I don't know where, what she understands about finance, investing, financial planning, or anything like that. I'm just going to assume that she doesn't know anything about that at all. And I don't know if she has any money saved. I would think she would. I mean, judging by the way they live, Harley and Freelee, they're not living high off the hog. They like riding expensive bikes, but they don't live in a mansion or anything like that. They're not driving a Ferrari or some fancy sports car. So, and they wear their clothes until they're falling apart. So they're not, they're experiencing this influx of wealth, and I don't think they're able to spend it fast enough. So I would assume that Freelee does have some kind of savings. And where, okay, so what are the benefits of seeing an investment advisor? Well, what's important here is you're Freelee, I'm talking to you now, and I'm talking to anybody who's suddenly experiencing, your income is going up, you're making great money, you don't have all these other expenses or debts, so you've got all this cash coming in. And so what do you typically do? You put it in your bank account. You may put it in a low interest savings account, and that's just not going to cut it, because the reality is your wealth, the money that you've worked hard for, is in danger of being eroded. And there's two main things that will erode your wealth. One is taxes. When your income goes up, your taxes go up. So you need to protect yourself against taxes. And the other one is inflation. The problem with just having your money sitting in a savings account, maybe getting 1.5, maybe 2% interest, inflation will eat away at whatever gains you've received from that. And also, even that little bit of income that you may have earned in your savings account is also taxable. And if you're in that higher tax rate, then that will really upset things. So those are the two major concerns. Are you protected from tax erosion, and are you protected from inflation? And then, there's the whole, you got to look at, your money, manage your money in the same way that you manage your health and your fitness. And it requires discipline. It requires a plan, and with goals. And this is especially the case with money, because money is like water. And believe me, if you're not careful with it, it will basically, it could just disappear just like that. It happens. Believe me, I've seen it happen many times. It's happened to me personally. And this is why seeing a registered an investment advisor can give you the guidance you need to properly set yourself up with a good, sound financial plan and get that aspect of your life headed in the right direction so that, Lord forbid, if anything were to happen to you, you would be protected. Like, for example, I mean, you could get injured. You could have a bike accident. Anything could happen. And that could be a major setback, a major readjustment in your life that could cost a lot of money in that time period. Now, what kind of insurance do you have to protect yourself against that? And then there's other things too. Do you have a will? You know, I know we don't like to think about this stuff, and especially when you're in your mid-30s, that's the last thing you have on your mind. But it's good to have those things in place. And a financial advisor, an investment advisor, can lead you in the right direction. They know stuff that you wouldn't even be able to contemplate. And I'm not talking about, you know, you can go to your bank and they have financial planners that can help you out with some pretty basic stuff. But you're now in a higher income. You're probably at the top there, like online with the lawyers and the doctors. Then this is where you really do need to go to a financial advisor, a wealth manager, and that is separate from the bank. Now, banks have their own institutions. I deal personally with Dominion Securities, which is a branch of the Royal Bank of Canada. And choosing your investment advisor, you know, that can be a little bit tricky too. I would recommend going with someone that has been in the business for at least a decade and is already managing probably about $100 million. Then you have somebody that really does have experience and is holding a lot of responsibility. So, and then you have references that you could look at to test their competence, because not every financial advisor is the same. And then there's also, you know, getting a good match for yourself. A good financial advisor will not be trying to push product on you, but rather will be trying to determine what is the best fit for you in terms of designing a portfolio, a diversified portfolio, your financial plan, your financial, your needs in regards to insurance, how to plan a will, all of that stuff, setting you up with the right accountant. They can take care of all of that stuff. And I mean, because now that you're making all this money, you've worked hard for it, it's time for your money to work hard for you. And that happens through capital growth. When you invest in the right products and they experience growth, then then your money grows with that. And then there's the income side of it. Have your money pay you income. And that can happen through fixed incomes, or it can happen through dividends. And there are more complex financial products out there, but that's the basic stuff. Having a diversification between cash, fixed income, and equities. So this is, I know it may not be something that you really want to think too much about, but you really should set up a meeting with a registered investment advisor as soon as possible and just talk. You don't have to commit to anything. Just get, feel them out, see where they're coming from, maybe interview a few of them before you decide going with one of them. And then, you're going to be surprised the things that they will bring up that you didn't even contemplate. What's really important here is you really, you're doing fantastic right now. You're on top of the world. Everything is going right. It's like nothing can go wrong and that you can do no wrong. And that can kind of be a dangerous place if you take it for granted, because you never know when life will throw you a curveball. You never know when that black swan will come into your life and disrupt everything, and it can happen. And that's what you want to be protected against as much as possible. So that's the main reason that I'm recommending that you see an investment advisor. I hope that was of some help. I hope you watched this video. I'm going to put this video, the link of this video, in the comment comment box.